Hello, everyone. My name is Adnan Amin, and today we will be discussing about Microsoft Forms, Power Automate, and SharePoint Lists process integration. And in this session, I will show you that how we are submitting the information from a Microsoft Form, which will be submitted to SharePoint Lists using Power Automate business process. And before I start, my name is Adnan Amin, and I'm a Microsoft MVP for Office apps and services. I have over 16 years of experience on working on Microsoft technologies, especially on SharePoint, Microsoft 365 platform, and .NET platform. I started my career as a developer, and 10 years back, I worked on Microsoft BI stuff, and I'm working as a senior Microsoft consultant at Olive and Goose, and I have been working on SharePoint for past almost 13 years. I am a Microsoft MVP since 2015, and MCT regional lead for 5 years, and I'm an active Microsoft MCT for almost 14 years now. You can reach out to me on my blog at mstechtalk.com and over our Facebook page at mstechtalk, and also on LinkedIn. We have the MS Tech Talk page. And also we have created a community for SharePoint Pakistan. You can also join that and can interact with the rest of the members. Let's start. Today we will be discussing about overview on our current scenario, that what we will be taking off, and then we will discuss a little bit on before you on Microsoft Forms, Power Automate, SharePoint List, and then I will walk through on creating a form and Power Automate business process to submit data to the SharePoint List. Let's begin. So before I begin again, sorry for that. In this discovery series, we went through a couple of sessions before, and on the first one, we discussed about the Microsoft 365 and Microsoft 365 Dev Tenant creation on the very first session, where I have given you overview about admin center of Microsoft 365, and also share the steps to create the Dev Center, which will be available for 90 days. And if you are actively using the Dev Center, you can use that for next for 90 more days. So that's a continue utilization, and the one which I am using, I have been using one for more than a year now, and that's again in 90 day session, 90-day renewal cycle. And next, I have shared a detail of information architecture design for SharePoint sites, what you need to design and to for developing a SharePoint site for the customer side, for the business users. All the details I have discussed on that session, and the recording will be available. You can watch it on the YouTube channel of MS Tech Talk. Then we discuss about the security management in a SharePoint site at a document level, at the list level, at the site level, and also the external sharing. And in last week, we discussed about the Power Automate flow, how it's working on a SharePoint list, and we used the approval process, how it works with the SharePoint list. So today we will be discussing on Power Automate, and that in next 2 weeks we will be discussing about the developer roadmap of SharePoint using SPFX and PNP modules, and then we will also discuss the same further detail, advanced level detail on the next session. Let's begin. Actually, so what we will be going to do today in this session, we will create a Microsoft form, and then we will create a SharePoint list. I already have created a list of basic few columns on it, and then we will create a Power Automate flow, and we will submit whenever a user submit the data from Microsoft form, it will be submitted to SharePoint list using that Power Automate form. What happens today that whenever a user submit, because forms are an easy way to submit data information, but what happens that forms are save all the information on their on an Excel file, and do not and you cannot do further operations on that file. So to retrieve that functionality, we will be using Power Automate flow to submit data on SharePoint list, which you can further use for performing different actions on the submitted data. So if I discuss about Microsoft Forms, Microsoft Form is an online survey creator, part of Office 365, released by Microsoft in June 2016. Forms allow users to create surveys and quizzes with automatic marketing and collect data and show them graphically. And that's very interactive graphic interface. But you can't perform, if you need to perform any action on that submitted data, you need to export that data from the backend Excel sheet, or or the way which what we are doing, going to do that you can submit every record to the SharePoint list or any other mm, data source which you can use further. Let's discuss about SharePoint list. A list in SharePoint allows you to organize the information dynamically and flexibly. You can create a list from scratch, or you can use ready-made templates that are available. And the list is a collection of data, and we will also discuss about SharePoint list and the security overview, which we have discussed in past. And once you create the SharePoint related list, you can add SharePoint columns and create views to display data effectively. Additionally, you can sort them by group, format, and filter available lists to display the most important and needed information. It should be mentioned that you can also automate a list to reduce effort and save time and streamline your work. And if we talk about SharePoint modern lists, allow people to collaborate directly from their team sites for effective content organization. The SharePoint modern list experience is highly responsive, accessible, and can be used on any device. Microsoft Flow and Power Automate have been combined directly into SharePoint modern lists, which make it simple to build a new Power App right from the from the list layout and add the workflow. And for the security perspective, you can have a list level security, separate security for the list, where you can define the different rights to the user, that who can modify the list and who can only view the list. And also you can define an item level security for the list item. And this is not for the SharePoint list. This is also for the document libraries. Now, Power Automate, formerly Microsoft Flow, known as Microsoft Flow, is an online tool with the Microsoft 365 applications used for the creation of automated workflows between apps and services to synchronize files, get notifications, and collect data. Power Automate empower everyone to build automated processes with Flow in Flow. Use low-code, drag-and-drop tools, and hundreds of pre-built connectors that automate repetitive tasks with ease. Record and visualize your end-to-end process with Process Advisor, providing guided recommendations for creating flow and deep insights while help you out of what to automate. And if we discover enhanced workflow with AI, make your workflows even smarter with the AI Builder. Quickly process forms using document automation, process approvals, detect images and text, or create with pre-built models. And means that you know that with the AI Builder, the form which you fetch the information from the form, and you can run the process workflows on that form. Now let's go to the walkthrough that create a form and Power Automate process to submit data to SharePoint List. Let me reshare my screen to the browser. I'm sharing my screen. And sorry guys for making you available at this time over the weekend. And thank you all who are attending the event. I think I'm sharing the right window. So guys, what we need on this session for this now, we need a SharePoint list where we will submit the data. We need to create a Microsoft form. This is the form. Let me open Microsoft form here. I don't have it open already. So I'm going to Microsoft Forms. And we need to create a Power Automate flow. I think I have selected a wrong window for you guys. Okay, let me. Uh, um, Here is the SharePoint list, and here is my flow Microsoft flow window, and here is Microsoft Forms. We are all good here. So I have already created the SharePoint list. Name patient information, and you can see here it have a few items. The first name, last name, date of birth, email, gender, and phone number, and medical history. This is a, if I check the field types here, this is a text field, this is a date field, it's an email, it's a text field, it's a drop down, it's a phone number, it's again a text field, and it's a checkbox, a boolean field. So what I need to do, I need to develop a form from where I can fetch the similar information. So I'm going to create a new form. Let's name it as patient info form and 365 discoveries series. So here I'm just because I already have created one of the forms, so it's showing me all the fields which I have used, and that's really smart. I'm adding this one, this one, this, this. Impressive. I haven't seen this feature before. Maybe because I have used the same parameter. Now what I need to do? Add 6 values. Impressive. So now you know that how much time it has taken, even if we are making it from the scratch, because I have selected the pre-built activities. I can add more values to it. Like I'm adding a new field here, text field, or it could be date field, or any other values. And if I select twice, I have the option to make it a Boolean field or multiple choice field. Here are the options here. And we can have more branches, like you can play around with the Microsoft form for all these values. So here's a date field. There's no configurations here. And from sharing link, you can share it with the within your organization. If you want, the only logged in user can submit, or you can share it with anyone. And one of the scenario which I told why I'm sharing this session is that you can set it to anyone and they can access the form with the URL here. Like you can get the link here when you click on the share. You can. This is the link for the form, and you can share it with anyone, and they can submit the form. And because we got a requirement sometime back where a company is looking people from their customers to a SharePoint list, but they don't want to give them guest access. They want to get the information anonymously, but they do not have much time for a custom to develop a custom form. So we quickly created that form. We're using Microsoft Form and created a flow at the backend and submitted the information directly to the SharePoint list. And we executed a business process at backend based on the requirements. So it was a very unique effort at that time. That was years back. So we have created the form here, and now we are going back to the the PowerPoint flow. We already have a few examples here, but I will go and create a new one. So we are creating a new form here, and we go to the automated cloud, and it will show the recently used triggers. So here is the one which we will use when a new response is submitted from a form. I'm creating this one. I'm not giving it a name. But if I, as you know that I haven't given it a name, let me give it a name from here. Session info flow. Okay, here we will see all the forms created on that on this tenant. Here is the patient information, which I think this is the form from where it pick the fields. I'm selecting this one. Whenever this form is filled, new button, and here now for submitting data to SharePoint list, what we need to do, we need to add the and create an activity for the create item. Create item. I'm just searching it, and this is the first one. Create SharePoint list item. Here I will select uh, my SharePoint site, and now I will select the patient information list here. Now you will see all the columns from the patient information list listed down here. Okay, one thing need to understand that it's showing the actual names of the columns because I changed the first title to first name on the list, so it's still showing the title here. So and here I need to one step I missed here. There's another step to get the information from the form. So form, I'm selecting form. Let's get the form details because we have only. Let me select the form again because the trigger is started when a new form, when an entry is submitted on the form. Now we need to fetch the submitted information form, and here is the form ID, response ID here. Now if I go here, and one more thing which I want to share, because if you have multiple item, multiple details, then I would highly recommend to add the caption here like this one. That with the activities to understand what you are trying to do. So you can add, you can submit data to multiple lists based on your business requirement. I'm adding the first name here, last name. These are the content which we fetch from the get form here. You can see that get form here. Okay, when I click on the date, it haven't shown me the date here because date is for date time format, and I can fetch the email here. So I just have added the email email variable here, and now I need to add a gender value here. If let me check, I can select the value directly, but I can select it from here also. You can see the, let me check here, showing me the gender. So you can see that I can see the phone number also. Now I can't see the Boolean variable because it's the values are coming up in string content type. So now I have a challenge here, and there could be more challenges based on the from field types when you are submitting data from forms. Especially, let me show you one more thing here. So here I have selected the date of the patient here. So, but you do not have any. We do not have an option to say if we need to submit a time here. Also, we don't have that option. So there are two ways for getting the time information. Either you add a text field here, and you can add some labeling here that enter the time in this format. And on your form here, you can you can generate the time field by merging that date and time, and can format it using some formulas. So right now, what I need to do, I need to fetch that date string here and also the selected medical history value here. So what I will do here, let me add some variables here. Variable, initialize variable. I will make it as a date of birth variable. Simple. Here we not making any changes here. I will mark it string and I will save the date of birth here. So one thing which I can check now, if it starts showing the date of birth here, yes. So because now the date is changed from the form was a different format, so it was an object. Now it is changed to string. Now it's accepting the string variable, and with the help of formulas, we can also change the date format. So I'm selecting the date here, and now can I do the same with um, the variable name for the boolean variable, boolean field? No, we can't do it. For the boolean field, what was the name of the field? Medical history. History. Um, I set the default value to false, and here you can see the way on the why I said that you keep adding the naming on the activities, because that will help to identify that which variable, which activity is this. So I need to add here. I just will rename it and think it as medical history. And this one is for DOB. So now what? How I get the sorry? Now how I get the value for the selected value? I will add a condition here. Condition activity here, and what I need to check here, if the date of history of the form, the field. Oh, I haven't added the field here. Sorry, guys. I think we have mistakenly deleted that field. Add new choice. Choice, medical history. Yes. No. I added that yes and no, and save the form. The form is saved, and if I save my changes here again and we'll come back. Right now, as I explained you that the explanation which I have given you at the start, that it will not be shown up. Let me check if that's true or not. Let me first verify that if the property is loaded or not. Let me go back and come here again. added the form here again. I will explain these things later on. Yes, this could happen in live demos. Things do not work as we plan. Now you can see the field showing up here. Let's first check on the form on the list here. If we can add it directly, then we do not need to add that control activity. So here we have the custom here. Let's see if it shows up. It's only showing the variable which I have added because it's a Boolean type variable. It's not accepting the field here because that again is an object type. So what I need to do here, I will go here and add that variable here is equals to the value was yes. And what I need to do here, if it's yes, that variable value, that variable, I have selected this one and I can see my variables and we'll set the value to true. Value of true is available here and I'm getting wrong. Why it's not accepting the variable here? Valid exception. Oh, sorry guys again. Oh, why? Let me check why it's happening. Is it because of the dollar sign? Oh God, I haven't noticed. This happened because when you too much work on the PowerShell, so it could happen in that demos. But this is a very small query. So I changed the value to I changed the value to true here. And let me jump back here on the form list history. And what we have here. And to the custom selections here. And you can see the variable medical history here. So now what we have done so far, whenever the data from that form is submitted, it will come to this workflow and the workflow will submit that data to the SharePoint list. But we also want to do some processing of this data. You can run an approval workflow. You can send email notifications to certain people from here. And you can do multiple actions on the list here on the business process here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send an email to the SharePoint list members or to any of the user. And email activity here, we have this here. And I'm sending to the current logged in admin. Demo admin here. You can add more users here, or this could also be fetched from the list here. So I'm just saving the let me do it like this. First name. Okay, now here you can see that because I have submitted the data to the SharePoint list. Why? And I can also fetch information from the newly submitted list item. I'm just fetching it. Title. New. No. Link for more details. And I can add the link for the list item. Links. And here we can add the values here. First name, last name is already added here. Email, phone, medical history. Let's see what values will be shown up here. Number, gender value because it's a drop down here. And medical history. Let's see if it will return yes or no, or how it will return. But I haven't checked it. It's yeah. So. Here we have all the fields here. And one more thing which I want to say, and this will show as an item. Let's see the output here. I'm just saving the changes here. And I'm going to my form here, and is my form. So this is not my form. That's a different form. That was patient info. This one. I'm going to the preview here, and from here I can also submit. My name is Adnan. Let me save it with Morris. Date of birth is Jermaine. And here I can one more thing on Microsoft Forms, we cannot have any validations. That's a drawback, but it is used for submission of the take information from the users for service mainly. So it's not necessary here, but it can fulfill your business requirement. Here, because I have activity check on yes, let's verify if it's working. The data is submitted here, and you can submit another record. And here, if I go to the flow here, and let's see if you can see that, wow, got submitted here. And if I click on this one, this is the graphical interface which can guide you that how the information is submit it. You can see the information fetched from the form here. All the information is here. Is the body and these are the variables here. You can see that how the value was assigned, and if I go to the condition, it's showing me that it, the condition was true. So yes, showing the value here, and the value is set here. And if we go to the create item, you can see all the values are set here, and this is the value which was the form which was submitted. And now if I go to the email, it will also show all the information. Okay, and let's uh, go back and check our SharePoint list, which is our main area. You can see here recently an employee is added here. You can see all the values here, and you can see if it's medical history checked, yes, because we mark it true here. All the information is here. And let's see the email for the user. Let me open the email for this user. User must have an email there. It's coming up from the ticketing support. Let me check why it coming from the ticketing support and why. This is the information here, and the value we can also bold them. Here, it's not showing up as a link here because we get the URL here, and we need to change the link hyperlink here, and that do not work in the same way. There's a bit thing weird issue on the Power Automate piece because once we change it to the syntax module, it will not work properly. And, let me show you. So if I go back to the flow here, add the flow and go to the email step here. So here you can see here we can add a in text field here. Can't add the value of the link here, and I change it to hyperlink here like this one. If I add the link manually, okay, is my value. So now this is added here, but now I cannot switch back to that graphic interface. So if I need to bold it, I need to add the HTML markup here. So this is a bit weird, but this is how it's worked. And now I'm saving the changes on the flow. And one thing which you have noticed that the email was sent from the should ticketing admin. If I check here for the details where you can define all the details who will be shown farm email you can set up here and who will be in CC and BCC. And on reply to you can also define an email. But here the user who will be sending the email should have the the permissions to send an email. And if I go here to the form settings, here you can see three different connectors. This one because these are from the demo admin. Let's check why manage connections. So you can manage the connections for the SharePoint because right now I am the demo account and it's sending the email from the demo account, and it's sending the email from that support account on this tenant. Let me And because I have set up it in a way that all the emails will be set up will be sent from the Tick admin, and this account is using for the SharePoint piece. So if you go here to the flow again, you can change the connections. You can define the connection here, and can, for example, if I do not have, I need to change the user for the SharePoint account. I can change. I can add a connection here and can change the user here. And similarly, for the here you can see that the email is sent from this account. You can change add a connection here and can change the connection for some emails. And similarly for Microsoft Forms also, because you are fetching the information, you need to change the account for here also. The user who will have the permissions to get the information from the forms. Right now, I haven't defined any users who will have permissions on the form, and but you can share it with the team here. You can assign a different admin. You can share it with the Microsoft 365 group also, so that they can add the ownership of the form. Okay. And do let me know if you have any questions. I'm looking forward to your questions for next a few minutes. Otherwise, we should be good here. And you can reach out to me on my Facebook page. Let me share this slide again. So now you can reach out to me on the Facebook page and on my Twitter, on my I can follow on the MS Tech Talk page for more events. Next week we will be meeting at the same time for 2 more sessions on SharePoint, and after that we will be having 2 more weeks for the next sessions. Thank you so much, guys. Catch you next time.